All right, folks, that was like a total epic fail. I was going for like the selfie stick kind of. It was supposed to be a deep fake drone kind of thing. I don't know what happened. It was a bust. All right, so anyway, look, you're trying to get a better understanding of what is this front end, back end, full stack thing going on, right? You know, I'm new to this. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So look, Care to Dev 00, let's go. So let's get into it. All right. So you have your full stack development. Full stack development, that is the look, the appearance that everyone sees when they go to a website. Everything you see in front of your face, that is considered the front end. And you have the back end. The back end is the behind the scenes stuff. These are the gears that are turning off in the behind the scenes. This is when information is submitted. Let's do the most common thing that everyone does. When you log in, we usually get that option for Google authentication, or I'm trying to not be so techy, but you know, the Google login, Facebook login, these simple login information has been sent to the database. And then once it's been sent to the database, it comes back to the front end, and there you see your account information. You see your profile, your name, and whatever information you gave the database to give back to you. All right, so that's how that goes. And then you have the full stack development. So with full stack, now we're looking at all of this coming in together. So now this is where you get that one-man show. Typically, this is somebody who has a good grasp, the decent design concept, so that they can take a prototype and or a mock-up, if you will, from a designer and put this thing together with code. So typically with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and bring this thing to life so that people can actually see it. Right? So that's that. Back-end development for that full stack developer would be taking that information, all the interact, whatever is needed to gather information from the back, syncing these two together to communicate with one another. That's the gist of it. So grabbing information from the back, bringing it back to the front, and it's presented in such a way that's understandable and readable for all end users. That's us. Anyone who's using the internet, using the computer right now, we're considered end users. So that's the gist of things. All right, folks, just to give you a little bit of a visual here. This is what we got. We have front end development. This is your tech stack you'll be looking at here. You're going to be looking at HTML5. We're going to be looking at CSS3. And we're going to be looking at JavaScript. These are some of the main pieces you'll need. It gets more complex, but we're trying to keep it simple with it for this video. So backend, our tech stack is a combination of these, sometimes just one. Some of the common ones, Ruby on Rails. We have Node.js and Laravel. So again, all these are being used. I just named a few that come to mind. So databases, we conjunction with the backend as well. MySQL for your WordPress sites. Typically, we got MongoDB, we have PostgreSQL. I'm pretty sure I'm saying it right. And servers you'll be communicating with will be Nginx, or we have Apache. And for my ones who want to be a rock star, you know, and just want to do the whole thing, you have all this in conjunction that makes the full stack developer. All right, guys, y'all know, another timeout. Shameless plug alert. So listen, if you haven't by now, go ahead, like, share, give me that thumbs up, folks. Go ahead and ring that bell down there, somewhere down in there, to be notified of any videos I give out at any given time. I think I got it all covered. Back to the video. All right, now since you've gotten a visual now of how this thing works, which one is best for you? This is how it works. So for front-end development, if you're somebody who likes to see the fruits of their labor right now, where you can put in some information as far as making the screen color change, you get that instant gratification. If you're someone who needs to be gratified instantly, constantly, and you just love the excitement of just designing and the appearance of things web-based, then yes, front-end development, that's your spot. Okay, I mean, I would say it's often sought after, but potatoes, I don't really think we can really say that. As far as your back end, you're real data driven. You're great with numbers. You're a math whiz. You gotta be honest. You love data algorithms. You love data structures. You love all this stuff. You're more concerned with how information is all collected and the various ways to store this information and to manipulate this information to be sent back to the front end. So you love handling things behind the scenes. That doesn't mean you're an introvert or anything where you can't talk with anyone, because let's be real, guys. If you're doing the whole shebang, full stack, or any part of this operation anyway, communication is key. You gotta be able to talk with people. So I'll say that for another video, but soft skills. I mean, we all know what those were either from some parts of school. It doesn't matter if you didn't go to college or anything. Everyone learns some soft skills at some point in your life. If you haven't, again, I'll save another video for that, but you got to have that as well. But anyway, I digress. So that's the back end. You're data driven. You love numbers. That's your thing. And you love because again, you don't see the fruits of your labor right away when it comes to that back end part. It's very structured in a sense, and gratification comes very slow. So it's got to be one of those things you already kind of can know what the fruits of your labor will be with being exposed to it, and that'll be your thing. That's the thing that works for you. Full stack. Now we're talking about this. Gets a little stout now. Now this is what I know from typical full stack developers. I would consider myself a full stack developer, but again, this is from a freelance standpoint. So we pretty much do it all. I'm full stack graphic designer. So I'm my own UI UX designer. So again, that's a whole nother story. It's full stack. Now, typically they're decent, so they can get a decent look on the front end, but that's not their bread and butter. So they would lean on the assistance of CSS framework. So now I'm not just doing vanilla CSS, which in some areas can help maintain web application speeds and things like that. I don't really worry about that. I would focus more so on, or should I say, the full stack developer focuses more so on just giving a good look using a Bootstrap that can quickly, this being one of them, quickly spinning up a nice appearance for the front end, just so that they can go ahead and take care of business and get to the back end and help connect the two together. So that's what your full stack developer is doing. So they don't really babysit the front end, focus that much on the appearance and all that stuff. They know how to get it done on their own autopilot. So when they're given a portion of a project, they're going to have the bad boy put together from concept, which is from the UI UX designer who spun up a prototype. So anyway, so the full stack developer know how to make all that happen quickly so they can get to the back end and get things done as far as with data and information to be presented to the front end. All right, some of the things that I need to know. What do I need to know if I'm a front end developer? I already told you. If you're going to go for the front end, you're going to need HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That's just to name the basics. And then obviously the name of the game is to get a good grasp more than out of any of these, primarily CSS, so that you can be prepared for frameworks that'll help spin up the productivity of getting a nice solid appearance, a nice solid response of that mean when it goes from your view of a desktop and it shrinks down to an iPhone. It looks great still, but things are structured differently that are more appeasing to the eye because it's a mobile device. But regardless, though, is making it very easy to spin up your design, right? So then JavaScript, this part you can level up, and this can branch off to different things. JavaScript can morph into using some Java, or even Python, or some of these are commonly known or used for the back end. But again, some of this stuff can take place on the front end. But the typical heavy hitters, though, is if you're going to the JavaScript side, you're looking to level up, and you're going to jump on honestly that bandwagon, run the big threes. My favorite one being React, but hey, look, that's another time. So we're looking at React, Angular, or Vue.js. So a good fun one for you newbies. If you're coming into the game, I would highly recommend Vue. Others are probably going to tell you React because it's the hottest one out here and there are a ton of jobs in it. But the learning curve is, I think, smallest with Vue.js, in my opinion. And I would say React, obviously next. Angular, that bad boy is another beast of its own. It's once you understand some good solid understanding of a vanilla JavaScript, and then you can kind of tack on one of these other ones, Vue or React. Then when it comes to going to Angular, you can see it and not be so intimidated, but it's pretty huge. Would not worry about that anytime soon. All right, so backend, the technologies you'll be working with, some of the ones I mentioned, I freelance, so PHP is one of my things. I'm a JavaScript developer, but I use PHP to get the job done for my clients, for my WordPress sites that I make for them. And you can use Node for the back end, but I stick to what's kind of already geared together for WordPress. So I use MySQL for databases, and these are some of the ones you'll be commonly using would be that. In other cases, you'll be using MongoDB, depending on what type of DevOps team you're on. There'll be a couple of other things that you'll probably get your hands on. So some good ones to learn will be MySQL, MongoDB. I think those two for sure. And then, you can go, which is there's so many more different ways to go. These are just to name a few. Obviously, Node.js, cannot skip that one. That's the main one I personally would go with, though, is the most common one is Node.js. Node.js is my bread and butter again. If you're on that trend of what you're seeing on the YouTube right now, then I'm pretty sure you're gonna see that Node.js is that top one for sure. Fullstack, you got to know all these things, right? You got to make this thing happen. You're the go-to. You're the rock star. You get all this together, you piece it together, and you make it happen. You make it work. That's what you do. Anyway, folks, that's enough. I just kind of wanted to get something going here. I really couldn't see how I couldn't have made a video on this, because all of us who are in development, we always ask this question. We even asked the question ourselves when we first started. What the heck is a front end? What's a back end? What's a full stack? What is all this? I was thinking full stack was like a stack of pizzas. I don't know. But what I'm getting at is there's a spot for you. If you enjoy web development or the thought of it and want to explore some things, again, just to recap, the front end, if you're visual, you like the get that instant gratification for something, the look and see, and instant gratification of a color change or a design, a little bit of animation, some cool stuff like that, then definitely front end's your thing, right? If you love to crunch some numbers, love to walk through the door and have tasks that are almost impossible, but you make it happen with the power of technology, and you're crunching numbers, data structures, and you're piecing some cool things together for that information to be nicely dressed up and sent right back to the front end to be presented on this amazing look that the front end developers created. Back end's your thing. Again, it doesn't mean that's an introvert role. You're communicating on all levels of this thing, front end, back end, and full stack, which leads to the last recap. Full stack developer, you the rock star, you do the whole thing. So that means you don't babysit the front end. You don't go for pouring more, I would say, into the front end as you would like a sole front end developer who's purely front end, right? You're going to make it look good. Use power of technology, use your leverage of Bootstrap, Boma, Tailwind. Something quick, spin it up, make it happen so you can get to the back end and hook up this server so that they empower all this data and all this wonderful information to be dressed up nice and neat to send back to the front end, and you've made it all happen by yourself, right? Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Sub button, hit that thumbs up, the like, share it, talk about it. Talk about some more information in the comments below if you like. This can really go on and on and on, but I mean, really cutting to the chase. This is just the gist of it. Front end, back end, full stack. I'm gonna take a couple of days off here, and I'm gonna jump back on and present some more stuff. I think I'm gonna start diving into a little bit of code on the next one. We'll see. Until next time, folks. Care the Dev 00. Let's go.